Today, I want to speak to you about something powerful, something simple, yet deeply transformative. The message is clear: focus on you until you win. In a world full of noise, comparisons, distractions, and expectations, it's easy to lose sight of the most important person in your journey, you. Every time you scroll through social media, listen to others' opinions, or get caught up in what someone else is doing, you're handing over your energy, your time, and your focus. In the pursuit of success, we often look outward, toward competition, recognition, or validation. But the real foundation of success is not found in the world outside of us, it is built within. Self-focus is the foundation of success because it is through understanding, developing, and committing to ourselves that we unlock our fullest potential. Without self-awareness and self-discipline, our efforts become scattered and our goals remain distant dreams. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. It's about investing your energy where it matters most, on your growth, your mindset, and your purpose. When you begin to focus on yourself, you start to see what truly needs to change. Instead of blaming circumstances, you start examining your habits. Instead of waiting for someone else to motivate you, you find that motivation within. Success is not about shortcuts or luck. It is about building a strong internal foundation made of discipline, patience, and resilience. Self-focus teaches you to set standards for yourself, to stop settling for mediocrity, and to pursue excellence even when no one else is watching. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in comparisons. Social media and constant connectivity make it feel like everyone else is winning faster, doing better, and living the life you want. But the truth is, those outside images do not reflect the real work being done, or not being done. When you focus on others, you lose sight of your own path. But when you focus on yourself, you stay grounded in your mission. You begin to measure your success by your progress, not by someone else's timeline. Self-focus also sharpens your goals. It helps you ask the hard questions. What do I really want? What am I willing to sacrifice? What does success look like for me? Not for my friends, not for my family, but for me. These questions can only be answered through honest self-reflection, and the answers become your blueprint for action. Once you define your path, you stop being swayed by distractions and start moving with purpose. One of the most powerful things about self-focus is that it gives you control. You can't control what others do. You can't control how fast someone else succeeds, but you can control how hard you work, how you respond to setbacks, and how committed you stay to your vision. That sense of control brings peace and confidence, even during the toughest times. It allows you to stand firm when life gets hard, because you know your success isn't based on luck, it's based on your commitment to yourself. Over time, this focus becomes your superpower. While others are distracted by trends or discouraged by failures, you are building, learning, and improving. Every day that you show up for yourself, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you move closer to your goals. And eventually, all of that quiet, focused effort compounds into something powerful. Success that is solid, self-made, and lasting. In the end, the world will see the results, but only you will truly understand the work it took to get there. That's the beauty of focusing on you. It's not always visible, it's not always praised, but it is always worth it. Because when you build your success from within, nothing can take it from you. So stay focused, stay grounded, and keep going until you win. In a world that constantly demands our attention, choosing discipline over distraction has become one of the most powerful decisions we can make. Every day, we are surrounded by endless temptations. Social media notifications, streaming platforms, quick entertainment, and countless other ways to escape the present moment. While these distractions offer temporary relief or pleasure, they silently steal our most valuable resources, time, energy, and focus. Success in any form does not come from chasing distractions. It is born out of consistent discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is the invisible force behind all meaningful achievement. It's the quiet voice that says, keep going, when your mind wants to quit. It's waking up early to pursue your goals, even when your bed feels warm and comfortable. It's choosing to study instead of scrolling endlessly. It's committing to your craft when no one is watching, when the rewards are far off, and when the results are slow. Discipline isn't flashy and it isn't easy, but it works. It moves you steadily toward your goals day by day, step by step, while distractions keep you running in circles. The danger of distraction isn't just lost time. It's lost potential. Every moment you give to distraction is a moment stolen from your growth. Think of the hours wasted in mindless scrolling, the days lost to procrastination, the opportunities missed because your focus was somewhere else. Now imagine what those same hours could become if they were spent learning, improving, building, or creating. That is the power of discipline. It transforms time into progress. It takes the ordinary and turns it into something extraordinary. Many people wait for motivation to strike before they act, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't rely on emotion. It's a choice, a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first time you choose discipline, it may feel difficult, but over time, as it becomes a habit, it becomes who you are. You stop needing to force it because it becomes natural. You begin to crave progress more than comfort. You learn to find satisfaction not in ease, but in effort. Discipline also builds self-respect. When you follow through on your commitments, when you stick to your plan, when you do the hard things, something inside you changes. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to walk taller, think clearer, and move with more confidence. You know you can rely on yourself to get the job done. That kind of inner strength is rare in a world full of distractions, and it sets you apart. Choosing discipline over distraction doesn't mean you never rest or enjoy life. It means you know when to work and when to play. It means you are in control of your time, not at the mercy of every passing urge. It means you prioritize what matters most and let go of what doesn't. Life is short and every minute counts. If you want to succeed, truly succeed, you must learn to protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. In the end, the people who rise to the top aren't always the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones who show up consistently, stay focused, and put in the work, especially when it's hard. They choose discipline when others choose distraction. And that single choice, repeated day after day, changes everything. So if you want to grow, improve, and win, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop giving in to every distraction. Make discipline your daily decision, and watch your life transform. Taking personal responsibility is one of the most powerful steps anyone can take toward progress. It's the act of accepting that your life, your choices, and your outcomes are largely in your hands. While external factors like luck, environment, or circumstances may influence your journey, they do not define it. What truly defines your path is how you respond to those factors. Personal responsibility is the mindset that says, no matter what happens, I am accountable for my effort, my actions, and my growth. This mindset shifts you from being a passive participant in life to being the driver of your own progress. When people refuse to take responsibility, they stay stuck. They blame their failures on other people, on bad luck, or on the system. They wait for someone to fix things for them, but blaming and waiting never create progress. They only create excuses. On the other hand, when you choose to own your situation, you give yourself the power to change it. You stop saying, "I can't because of them," and you start saying, "I will because of me." That shift alone opens the door to real change. Progress doesn't come from wishing things were easier. It comes from deciding to get stronger, smarter, and better equipped to face your challenges. That decision begins with responsibility. You don't grow by avoiding mistakes or denying your weaknesses. You grow by facing them, learning from them, and making deliberate choices to improve. Owning your mistakes doesn't make you weak. It makes you wiser. It shows maturity, courage, and a commitment to becoming better than you were yesterday. Taking responsibility also means refusing to settle. When you accept full ownership of your goals, you stop tolerating mediocrity in your life. You raise your standards because you understand that no one else is coming to do the work for you. You become your own motivation, your own accountability, and your own support system. This mindset builds independence and resilience. You no longer need permission or approval to chase your dreams. You know they belong to you, and so does the responsibility for reaching them. One of the greatest benefits of personal responsibility is clarity. When you take ownership of your journey, you stop wasting time trying to control what you can't. Instead, you focus on what you can control: your attitude, your choices, your habits, and your reactions. This clarity leads to better decisions. You're no longer swayed by emotions or outside opinions. You act with purpose because you know where you're going and why. That focus is what drives consistent progress over time. It's important to understand that taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It doesn't mean being hard on yourself or ignoring external challenges. It simply means refusing to let those challenges define you. It's the choice to rise above excuses and take full control of your responses, your attitude, and your effort. It's realizing that you have more power than you think, and using that power to create momentum. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful started by accepting responsibility. Whether it's building a career, improving health, learning a skill, or growing as a person, the process begins with the same decision: I am responsible for this. That simple truth separates those who move forward from those who stay behind. Progress is not a gift, it's a result of consistent action, fueled by self-accountability. So if you want to grow, if you want to move forward, if you want to win, don't wait for someone else to do it for you. Step up, take charge, accept responsibility, because the moment you do, you take control of your future. And that's where real progress begins. Real growth doesn't begin with external achievements. It starts from within. We often think progress is about what we can show the world: better grades, a new job, a promotion, more money, or recognition. While these are all valuable milestones, they are just the surface. True, lasting growth happens through inner work. The deep, sometimes uncomfortable process of self-reflection, healing, learning, and becoming more aware of who we are and who we want to be. Without that inner transformation, any external success is temporary and fragile. Inner work means being honest with yourself. It's the courage to look in the mirror and face your fears, insecurities, and patterns. It's recognizing that the way you react to challenges, how you handle failure, how you treat others, and how you talk to yourself all come from within. Growth requires asking tough questions. Why do I think this way? Why do I keep making the same mistakes? What am I avoiding? The answers may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. You cannot improve what you refuse to face. This kind of self-awareness is the foundation of growth. It allows you to see beyond the surface and understand what drives your actions. Maybe it's fear, doubt, pride, or past pain. Maybe it's a belief you picked up years ago that no longer serves you. Inner work helps you identify these blocks so you can break them down. When you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, you gain control over them. Instead of reacting out of habit, you start choosing your responses with intention. Inner work also builds emotional strength. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. But when you've done the work inside, you don't crumble easily. You become more resilient. You stop seeing failure as a personal flaw and start seeing it as part of the process. You develop patience, confidence, and grit, qualities that don't come from quick wins but from the slow, steady process of growth. These internal qualities are what sustain you when motivation fades and challenges appear. One of the most important parts of inner work is letting go of limiting beliefs, toxic habits, and the need for constant approval. Growth means releasing the parts of yourself that are holding you back. That might mean forgiving someone, forgiving yourself, or letting go of the identity you've clung to out of fear. This isn't easy. Growth often requires grieving old versions of yourself. But what you gain in return is freedom. The freedom to evolve, to try new things, and to live more authentically. Inner work also enhances your relationships. When you understand yourself better, you start showing up differently for others. You become more compassionate, more patient, and more open. You stop projecting your pain onto others because you're learning how to heal it within yourself. You communicate better, listen more, and take responsibility for your part in every interaction. In this way, personal growth leads to better connection with the world around you. Perhaps most importantly, inner work connects you to your purpose. When the noise of the outside world fades, you start hearing your own voice. You begin to ask, "What do I truly want?" instead of "What do others expect from me?" That clarity is powerful. It helps you set goals that align with your values, not just your ego. And when your actions are rooted in purpose, your growth becomes not just about getting ahead, but about becoming whole. In the end, growth is not just about changing your life, it's about changing yourself. And that change starts within. The journey may be quiet, even invisible to others, but it's the most important work you will ever do. Because when you grow on the inside, everything on the outside starts to align. That's the power of inner work, and that's where true transformation begins. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, the stories you tell yourself, the lens through which you view challenges, shapes every outcome in your life. Your mindset is the foundation upon which your actions are built. It influences how you handle adversity, how you pursue goals, and how you view yourself and the world. Two people can face the exact same situation and respond in completely different ways. The difference isn't in the circumstances, it's in the mindset. When you carry a positive, growth-oriented mindset, you begin to see obstacles as opportunities. Failure becomes feedback. Struggle becomes a necessary part of the process, not a sign that you're not good enough. With the right mindset, you begin to expect growth, even from painful or difficult experiences. You don't break down when things go wrong, you adapt. You keep moving, not because it's easy, but because you've trained your mind to believe that progress is always possible and that you are capable of creating it. On the other hand, a fixed or negative mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you constantly tell yourself you're not smart enough, not lucky enough, not good enough, you start to act in ways that reinforce that belief. You hesitate, you give up easily, you avoid taking risks, and eventually you stop trying. It's not that the world has denied you opportunity, it's that your own mind has convinced you not to pursue it. Thoughts are not just words, they are blueprints for behavior. What you repeatedly think, you eventually become. This is why mindset is more important than talent, intelligence, or background. Someone with average ability but a resilient mindset will outlast and outperform someone with more natural gifts but a weak mindset. Why? Because the person with the right mindset will keep showing up, keep learning, and keep improving. They won't let failure stop them. They don't fear starting over. They trust in the process, and more importantly, they trust in themselves. That belief becomes a force that drives consistent, long-term action, and that's what shapes powerful outcomes. Your mindset also determines how you see yourself in the story of your life. Do you see yourself as a victim of circumstances or as the author of your own journey? Do you believe you have the power to change, grow, and build something meaningful, or do you wait for things to get better on their own? The answers to these questions reveal the mindset you're carrying, and they point directly to the results you're likely to get. When you adopt the mindset of ownership and agency, everything shifts. You start to ask, what can I do differently? Instead of, why is this happening to me? That one change in perspective can open doors that were previously invisible. The good news is that mindset is not fixed. It can be trained. Just like a muscle, your mind gets stronger the more you challenge it, feed it with positivity, and guide it toward growth. Start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Catch the negative patterns, replace them with more empowering truths, affirm your worth, visualize success. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking and encourage growth. Every time you choose a better thought, you take a step toward a better result. The life you create is a direct reflection of the mindset you carry. If you want better outcomes, don't just work harder, think better. Feed your mind with belief, with purpose, and with clarity. Teach it to see the potential in setbacks, the lessons in failure, and the strength in effort. When your mindset aligns with your goals, your actions follow with energy and consistency, and over time, those actions build results that reflect the strength of the mind that made them. So if you want to change your life, start by changing the way you think, because your mindset truly shapes your outcome. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through commitment, a deep, unwavering decision to stick with a goal, a vision, or a process, no matter how long it takes or how hard it gets. Commitment is the fuel that drives real change. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. When you commit fully to something, you give it your energy, your time, and your focus. You stop looking for shortcuts, and you start building the discipline that lasting transformation requires. The reason commitment is so powerful is because it forces consistency. Anyone can be excited for a day, a week, or even a month. But true change requires showing up over and over again, even on the days when you're tired, unmotivated, or unsure. Commitment is what keeps you moving when the initial excitement fades. It's the promise you make to yourself to keep going, even when no one is watching and progress feels slow. That kind of consistency compounds over time. It doesn't always bring instant results, but it always brings lasting ones. Transformation is not just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming a different person in the process. And becoming someone new requires doing things your old self wasn't willing to do. That means pushing through discomfort, confronting your excuses, and taking responsibility for your progress. None of that happens without commitment. Without it, you'll quit as soon as things get hard. You'll chase the next shiny opportunity instead of staying focused. But when you're truly committed, you stop giving yourself an exit. You stop looking for a way out, and you start finding a way through. Commitment also creates clarity. When you commit to something fully, you stop wasting energy on indecision. You no longer ask, should I keep going? Or is this worth it? Because you've already decided that it is. That clarity frees up mental space. It allows you to focus more, plan better, and act with intention. You start filtering your choices through the lens of your commitment. Does this help me move forward, or does it pull me away? That simple question becomes a compass that keeps you aligned with your goals. The most transformative journeys often come with setbacks, and commitment is what helps you recover and keep moving forward. You will make mistakes. You will face obstacles. There will be times when you question your ability or your worth. But if you're committed, you'll keep showing up anyway. You'll adjust, learn, and grow. You'll see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to rise higher. That resilience is born from commitment, and it is one of the clearest signs that transformation is happening. Another powerful effect of commitment is how it builds belief. When you honor your commitments, you start to trust yourself. You see what you're capable of. You stop relying on motivation alone and start relying on your character. That builds confidence from the inside out. You begin to carry yourself differently, not because you've already reached the goal, but because you know you will. That kind of inner belief is magnetic, and it attracts opportunities, people, and experiences that match your energy. In the end, commitment is not about perfection. It's not about never falling off track. It's about always coming back to the path, no matter how many times you stray. It's about choosing your vision over your comfort, your growth over your excuses, and your purpose over your distractions. That kind of commitment changes you. It shapes your habits, your mindset, and your future. So if you want real transformation, don't just try commit. Make the decision once, and then keep choosing it every single day. That's how you build a life that reflects your highest potential.